All right, so today we're diving into
Mm-hmm.
a research paper
Yeah.
about a new type of implant that can deliver drugs
Go on.
directly into the body.
Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, it is from the International Journal of Engineering.
Right.
You sent this over to me,
Uh-huh.
and I
Yeah.
have to admit it's pretty dense.
Oh, it is.
But essentially,
Yeah.
these researchers have designed an implant that can slowly release painkillers.
So they looked at paracetamol specifically for this study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they chose it for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's a very commonly used painkiller.
Yeah.
And two,
Okay.
it has a relatively simple structure.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this allowed them to really just focus on the mechanics of the implant and how it delivers the drug.
Okay, so how did they actually do this?
Right.
Did they just like stuff the paracetamol into like a metal implant?
Uh-huh.
Because that doesn't sound very high tech.
No, not quite.
Okay.
They got way more creative than that.
Oh,
They actually created these incredibly tiny tubes called titanium nanotubes
wow.
directly on the surface of the implant.
Okay.
And get this,
Yeah.
these tubes act like little storage containers for the paracetamol.
Titanium nanotubes.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Pretty cool.
straight out of science fiction.
It is pretty futuristic.
I'm guessing there's a reason they chose titanium though.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
They didn't just pull that out of a hat.
Right.
Titanium is already very widely used in implants because it's strong and biocompatible.
Yeah.
But what's even cooler is that these nanotubes actually promote bone cell growth.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like they're giving your body a scaffold to rebuild itself.
Okay, so we've got these tiny titanium tubes loaded up with painkillers,
Right.
helping bone cells grow.
Yeah.
But how do you control how fast the painkiller is released?
Right.
I mean, wouldn't it just like flood out all at once?
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
So they coated these nanotubes with a special material called hydroxypacket.
Hydroxyapatite.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Right.
But it's a very clever choice.
All right.
Hydroxyapatite is very similar in composition to what our bones are made of.
Interesting.
So not only is it super compatible with our bodies,
Okay.
but it also acts like a gatekeeper,
Okay.
controlling the rate at which the paracetamol is released.
So it's like a slow release mechanism.
Exactly.
Providing pain relief over a longer period.
Yeah,
That's got to be a game changer for people with like chronic pain.
absolutely. Yeah, think
Um,
about conditions like arthritis or back pain,
Right.
where constant pain relief is essential.
Yeah.
Instead of having to remember to take pills multiple times a day,
Mm-hmm.
this implant could potentially provide consistent relief for days, weeks, even months.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
And this controlled release probably has benefits beyond just convenience.
Yeah,
Right.
you're exactly right.
Yeah.
A slower, more consistent release means fewer peaks and valleys in the drug's concentration in the body,
Right.
which could potentially mean fewer side effects.
So it sounds like this implant
Yeah.
offers a real improvement over traditional methods like pills or injections.
It certainly has that potential.
Yeah.
What's really exciting, though, is that
Yeah.
this technology could go way beyond just delivering painkillers.
Okay.
Researchers are already looking at how it could be adapted to deliver other types of drugs, too.
And that's where things get really exciting.
Right.
Let's dive into that next.
Absolutely.
Okay. So before we were talking about how this implant technology
Mm-hmm.
could be used for a lot more than just painkillers.
Right.
I'm really curious about this. What other kinds of drugs could we be talking about?
Well, the possibilities are really quite vast.
Okay.
Imagine being able to deliver antibiotics directly to an infected site.
Oh, wow.
That could be a game changer,
Yeah. Yeah, especially like infections that are hard to treat
Exactly.
with like normal ways.
Yeah, and it's not just about antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
Think about chemotherapy drugs for cancer treatment.
Right.
Right now, those drugs can cause a lot of side effects
Yeah.
because they affect the whole body, not just the tumor.
But with this implant,
Right.
you could deliver the chemo drugs directly to the tumor.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that would be a huge step forward.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, making cancer treatment more effective and less debilitating for sure.
It's amazing to think about what we could do with this.
Ah.
It sounds like it could revolutionize how we treat a whole bunch of diseases.
It really does have that potential, but of course,
Yeah.
there's still challenges.
Oh, I'm sure. What are some of the biggest ones?
Well, one of the key challenges is ensuring the implant releases the drug at the right rate for whatever condition you're treating.
So you can't just like put any drug in there
Exactly.
and hope for the best.
It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You need to
Mhm.
fine-tune it depending on what you're trying to achieve.
And that comes down to
Yeah,
the hydroxyapatite coating.
exactly. the thickness of the coating, the composition, even like the tiny pores in the material.
Wow.
All of those things influence how fast the drug is released.
So it's about customizing it
Yeah,
for each specific application.
pretty much.
It's got to be super complex.
It is complex, but researchers are developing,
Yes.
sophisticated models
Right.
to try and predict how these coatings will behave
That's really cool.
and to tailor them
Yeah.
for specific needs.
Oh, okay. So they're working on the release rates.
Uh-huh.
But what about the safety of these implants?
Right.
I mean, you're putting something foreign into the body.
Sure.
How do we know it won't cause problems?
Well, as we mentioned, titanium is already well established as a safe material for
Really?
implants.
Yeah.
But the researchers are going even further
Oh,
to
really?
ensure biocompatibility.
Mm-hmm.
They're testing these implants rigorously to make sure that they don't trigger
Yeah.
any adverse reactions in the body.
So what kind of tests are they doing?
Well, there's a variety of methods.
Okay.
One approach involves culturing cells in the lab
Okay.
and exposing them to the implant material
Got it.
to see how they react.
Yeah.
They're also doing longer-term studies in animals
Okay.
to monitor for any potential issues.
It's good to know that they're taking those precautions.
Yeah, definitely.
But I imagine there are also challenges in terms of actually making these implants
Right.
because we're talking about really tiny stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Scaling up production can be a real challenge when you're dealing with nanotechnology.
Yeah.
But researchers are making progress on that front as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're
That's good.
developing new manufacturing techniques that are more precise and more efficient.
It sounds like there's a whole lot of really smart people working on this.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes you wonder what's next for this technology.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a real glimpse into the future of medicine and,
Yeah.
as with any emerging technology,
Mm-hmm.
there are some important ethical and societal considerations to keep in mind.
I was just thinking about that.
Right.
Let's explore those next. We've been talking about this incredible new implant technology and how it could revolutionize medicine.
It's definitely a game changer, but as with any powerful new advancement, it's really important to consider the ethical and societal implications.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the first things that comes to mind for me is accessibility.
Yeah, you're right. We need to make sure that this technology doesn't just benefit the privileged few.
It's great to talk about all these amazing possibilities, but if only a small percentage of people can actually access them, then that creates a whole other set of problems.
Absolutely. You need to consider things like cost,
Right.
healthcare infrastructure, even geographical location.
Yeah. Will this even be available worldwide, or is it going to be limited to certain countries?
Those are important questions.
Yeah.
And it's up to researchers, policymakers, and society as a whole to make sure there is equitable access.
And it's not just about physical access. It's
Uh-huh.
also about education and awareness.
Yeah, people need to understand how this technology works. What are the potential benefits and risks?
Right.
So they can make informed decisions about their own healthcare.
We need to avoid a situation where some people are embracing this technology while others are left behind because they just don't know enough about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another important ethical consideration: informed consent.
Right.
Yeah.
People need to fully understand what it means to have this implant in their body
Mm.
before they agree to it.
They need to know about the potential risks, the
Yeah.
long-term effects,
Right.
the possibility of complications.
And it's especially important, I think, to consider the psychological impact.
Yeah. How will this technology affect people's sense of self, their body image, their relationship with their health?
These are all questions we need to explore as this technology becomes more common.
And we need to have these conversations out in the open,
Yeah.
involving not just scientists and doctors, but also patients, ethicists, the wider public.
It's about having a dialogue so we all understand the potential benefits and challenges.
And that leads us to another crucial aspect: regulation.
Right. We need clear guidelines and regulations as this technology keeps developing.
Yeah, we need to establish safety standards, ethical protocols, mechanisms for oversight.
This will help to make sure it's not misused,
Right.
that it's actually helping people.
Exactly. It's about striking that balance,
Yeah.
between innovation and responsible development.
We want to move forward, but we also want to protect people
Right.
and make sure this technology aligns with our values.
And that's where the broader societal conversation comes in. It's not just up to the experts.
Yeah.
It's up to all of us to think critically about these issues and to contribute to shaping the future.
This technology has the potential to be so transformative, but it also comes with responsibilities.
It's a reminder that scientific advancements aren't just about technical progress.
Right.
They're also about social progress.
And we've seen with other technologies, they can be used for good or for bad.
It's up to us to ensure that this technology is used to create a healthier, more equitable, and more humane world.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway is that this technology is not just about implants and drug delivery.
Mm.
It's about our values, our choices, and the kind of future we want to build.
It's about harnessing the power of innovation while remaining mindful of the ethical and societal implications.
It's about ensuring that this technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
And ultimately, it's about recognizing that the future is not something that just happens to us.
Yeah.
It's something we create together.
This has been a fascinating exploration, and I hope it's given you a lot to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.